Hey guys, it's me. It's Queen Osset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. All right, guys. So the other day, my godfather bought his first two crystals, which was huge. I was like, oh my God. So it got me to thinking about how people buy crystals and don't really know what to do with them. And I wanted to give some instruction on something cool that you can do with selenite. Selenite is a very popular stone. It's said to draw the angels. It's also said to open up your third eye, your psychic abilities, your intuitive abilities. It's said to really open you up in those ways. So I thought it would be cool because I know a lot of you are interested in opening up your own spiritual energy, and some of you are interested in even connecting with the angels. So a long time ago, I made up this selenite exercise. And I don't know if anybody made it up before me or thought of it before me, but this is one. And if somebody did, I can totally give them credit for it. But I made this up one day from just having selenite laying around. And I was like, what will happen if I do this? So I'm going to tell you guys the exercise. So if you have selenite and you want to try this particular exercise, you can. First and foremost, selenite comes in different forms. You can get a slab. A slab is huge. A slab can be about as big as a countertop. It depends on what you want to do with it. Some people get a huge thing of selenite and put it on their altar, and then they put anything they want cleansed on top of the selenite. Selenite is a cleanser. It cleans things and is self-cleaning as well. It's one of the few stones that doesn't need to be regularly cleansed. So here's one, a big one. So you don't need one that's this big. You don't need a slab. If you have one that's this size, this is not selenite. This is pyrite, but this is a good size for it. Also, if you have a selenite that's this size, this is selenite. This size is good for this exercise too. So this is what you do. It's very simple. First of all, you need to be in a quiet space. So many people try to do meditation or spiritual things such as, divination, things like that in noisy places. You really don't want to do that. I mean, if you don't have a choice, you don't have a choice. But whenever you can, you want to do these kind of exercises in a quiet space. You want to wait until your husband or your wife or your kids are sleeping and nobody's going to bother you. Okay, because you're going to need to lay flat, so you need to be someplace where you're alone and not bothered. Okay, so find a quiet space, preferably a dark space. The best time to do this particular exercise and the best time to do any meditation is between the hours of 4 to 7 a.m. when you first wake up, or at night before you go to bed, between like maybe 6 to 10 p.m. Those are the best hours to do meditations. So if you can do that, great. If you don't have time and you can squeeze it in from, at noon or something like that, that's fine. So what we do is we find this quiet space and we lay flat. You want to lay flat on the floor, or you want to lay flat in your bed. No pillows under your head. You want your spine to be straight for this particular exercise, okay? So you lay flat. You should have the room comfortable temperature wise. You should have maybe some incense or some sage or something like that, something soothing lit, some frankincense, some Palo Santo, whatever the case is. You can use scented candles if that's more your thing. I use incense. Sometimes I use Nang Champa. It just depends on what I want to use. You can also use particular herbs for spirituality, such as mugwort. Mugwort is a great one for opening up yourself. But any of those spiritual things like Palo Santo, mugwort, sage, those are all good. Basically, you just want a nice vibration going. You want it to be a nice, hopefully dark or as dark as you can get it. Something, like I said, burning, it smells delicious, and you want to put on your headphones. You want to put on your headphones, preferably when I do it, I use my phone, my cell phone, and I just put it on. I usually, sometimes I put it on airplane mode if I have one that's downloaded. It just depends on what you have. But the bottom line is that you want some beautiful music. So I'm going to give you underneath this video a couple that I personally use with this particular meditation. So now you're laying on the floor, you have music playing, your incense are going, or you're laying in a bed, you have music playing, your incense are going, it's dark, nobody's going to bother you. Now what? Well, now you lay there and take your selenite and lay it on top of your third eye like that. And for 5 to 30 minutes, you lay there with it right here. And you want to do this every day for at least 30 days. 5 to 30 minutes for 30 days. Now, in the old tradition, if you forget a day or you skip a day, we start all over from the beginning. I do recommend that because it builds your resolve and it also builds your commitment. So you want to go 30 days straight. Every day, when you have a chance to, this is the second part of the exercise, you want to journal. So you want to make sure you get a pretty book, a pretty journal or a pretty diary, something like that. And every day you want to write down how you felt, what you experienced, if you heard anything during this particular selenite meditation. Some people will have to start at 5 minutes and build up to 30. Some of you will find 30 to be a breeze. And then, like I said, you write down your experiences. So over the course of the 30 days, what are some things that might happen? Well, everybody's experiences are different. So I don't want to tell you what will happen for you, but I'll tell you what's happened for me. Sometimes my third eye would start to ache. It start to throb in the very beginning. And I'll be like, am I doing this right? And then after a while that stopped. Sometimes I would feel tingling. Sometimes I would see things. Sometimes I would be in the meditation and zone out and be talking to what I found out was an angel, but at the time didn't know. I was just talking to somebody and I would come back and be like, what the hell just happened? Different things happen for different people. Some people just feel very relaxed and their chakras line up because selenite lines up the chakras. Different people have different experiences. I've experienced all of these things. So what I want you to do is to do the meditation and write down your own experiences. And let us know right here in the comments section, or if you want to tell me privately, let us know how this particular exercise affected you and what you experienced. Now, if you do this for 30 days and you keep your journal faithfully, you will more than likely, at the very least, line up your chakras. That would be really helpful, for a lot of people. As you know, your chakras are your energy centers. It's the energy that runs through your body. Healing, opening, unclogging, whatever you want to call that. And some people call it different things. Opening up the chakras, healing the chakras, getting that chakras to a point of maximal health. They call it all kinds of things. But the selenite lines the chakras up. So it can be helpful for any of us, really, because your energy, the better it flows, the better your life goes, is the old saying. So that is the meditation. It's very easy. And you write down your experiences. And if you choose to continue doing it beyond the 30 days, that's fine too. Some people do it every day. But this is one I found for people who really want to open up their spiritual abilities. You want to get into being a priestess. You want to get into reading tarot. You want to get into learning more about Wicca, Yoruba, Santeria. If you want to get into any of these spiritual type of activities, this is an excellent start for you. Okay? All right, guys. Let me know how it goes because I'm dying to hear your stories. All right. If you would like a reading, email me and I'll give you an appointment. If you would like to get in touch with me, all of my information will be underneath this video. Let's see, anything else? If you want to be one of my patrons on Patreon, check out underneath this video. And I'll also leave a link to some place where you can buy selenite in case you don't have any and you want to buy a piece for this particular exercise. Selenite is not expensive. It's a couple dollars. So I'll leave something from Amazon underneath here. I'll leave a link to buy a piece of selenite, and I'll leave the music that I use from my meditations. Okay? Happy meditating.